what reforms would you like to see? Now, you like every other commissioner, you've got a term. The term is going to end, and you will no longer be on the Federal Elections Commission. What things would you like to see the next set of commissioners or Congress to be doing to turn the Federal Elections Commission from the speech squelching police to the political speech enhancement department?
Well, I think first and foremost is what I mentioned earlier. I think the process needs to be sped up exponentially. I think that when someone gets a complaint filed against them, that it needs to be handled quickly, and that they need to have a resolution to that issue, as soon as they possibly can. There's nothing worse than having the accusation that your political action committee or your nonprofit is engaged in some type of nefarious activity in the election, and it's going to be 2 or 3 years before you actually have the ability to say, "See, no, we weren't." We've got to eliminate that process as the punishment part. That's the first thing. I think
no one remembers the acquittal; they remember the accusation.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And so I think that part of the process fundamentally has to change. I think the other thing that has to change is we have to get rid of this criminalization of the political process. It cannot be that if you engage in political activity, whether it be speech or advertising or what it is, that the FBI is going to show up at your house. The other thing that needs to happen is that we need to recognize that political speech is a fundamental part of our republic. One of the things that I find most abhorrent at the local level, especially at school board meetings, county meetings, those type of things, even at state legislatures, and at Congress, is these limitations on the amount of time that a citizen is allowed to address a governing body. You get 3 minutes to make your point. You can't make your point in 3 minutes, and everybody knows it. What that is an elected official who doesn't want to hear what you have to say. But the system is predicated on the elected official listening to those that they represent. And it's really predicated on them listening to those that they disagree with. And so if you don't like what someone has to say, that person has every right to say it. And frankly, I think that the elected official needs to hear that more than they need to hear the person who agrees with the position that they've taken. And that's not always fun. It's one of those things where it's uncomfortable sometimes. You have various issues, whether it be abortion, whether it be Second Amendment rights, where there are very emotional positions on both sides. And it gets uncomfortable for the elected official to listen to it. But that's the job they signed up for. They work for those people, and they need to listen to what they have to say. You would never see the CEO who would go to the stockholders meeting and say, "Well, we're not going to listen to the stockholders today. We're done with the meeting." In fact, what you see is that they try to put on the best face that they can, and they try to listen to everything that everybody has to say, because the last thing they want is the stockholders jumping up and banding together and purchasing enough stock to get themselves a position on the board. And ultimately, that's what we ended up seeing in these cases in some places around the country, is that parents get fed up with what's going on at the school board. They get fed up with what's going on at county government or even in Congress, and they say, "Well, I got a bunch of my friends together, and now I'm running for Congress. Now I'm running for school board, and we're going to make a change here."
Thanks for visiting the 1836 studios and the Conversation series. Make sure you click like on the video, share it with your friends, and click that little bell so you can be notified with our next conversation.